Welcome, everybody, to another sunny day. It's April 23rd. Scott Riley, the market update desk, NMLS 157524. Got a little bit going on in the world, both economically with some information and with geopolitical. We did see that one tanker was attacked in the Strait of Hormuz late yesterday, and there is new heightened tensions, specifically in the Gulf area, with the U.S. blockade of the Strait of Hormuz and the potential attacks from Iran in the Strait of Hormuz for cargo ships. So we're getting some upward pressure on oil today, down pressure on the Dow. We'll kind of go through all that here. Now, we did get some economic information. Pending home sales, that references contracts on existing homes. That rose 1.5% in March, which was significantly stronger by three times what the market expected, which was 0.5%. So a lot better than what the market planned on. Now, adding to that beat was also an upward revision to February, which took the up 1.8% in February to up 2.5%. So very positive movements there. It's definitely encouraging to see 2 months in a row of not just healthy year over year increase, but beats over what the market had planned on. It's showing that there is definitely pent up demand, and limited inventory is both a reason for that. Kevin Warsh had, I guess, what I consider an impressive Senate confirmation hearing yesterday. Now, he was met with some hostility, not unexpected based on politics, especially around his personal investments in Fed independence. Definitely two of the big hot buttons. He has made an agreement with the Government Ethics Board to divest all his personal investments within 90 days of being confirmed. And actually, he went above and beyond the agreement and said he would sell the majority before actually taking office. He was asked if the president told him that he had to cut rates, to which he said, "The president has never told me I have to cut rates, and I would never agree to that." He stood firm on his belief that the Fed needs to be independent. That's an important thing of what people are looking for across the aisle. Now, perhaps the biggest news was how he plans to reform the Fed. These are really important things because the Fed needs to be reformed in some very specific ways. He was critical of the failures in 21 on how they handled inflation. He outlined that the Fed is looking at old, antiquated data and measurements of inflation like PCE, and they don't have to anymore. He wants the Fed to look at timed mean measures of inflation, which focuses on what they can control and gives them a much better picture of the true underlying and long-term inflation, and removing the highest and lowest lows that can be from one-time price shocks like oil. He also thinks the communication of the Fed needs to change. Very interesting here. He thinks the Fed is too transparent. Now, that can be taken in different ways. What he's talking about is Fed members giving out opinions in advance in the media and seeking essentially spotlight far too much. Now, Warsh said that they're humans and they want to stick to what they said, but they should be changing their minds based on incoming information. In other words, what he's talking about is using real-time data more than what they've used in the past, which is rear looking. And that's a very important thing. And that's a lot of why the Fed got so much wrong in 21, 22, 23, and why they had to shock the system with Fed rate increases. So he sounded very smart, polished, and ready to lead the Fed in a new policy making era, which they're looking at new measures of inflation, labor, and contemplating the impacts of AI and changing the way the Fed communicates. With these Fed members basically seeking out attention, giving all these different interviews. It never used to be that way back in the days of pre-Bernanke and Yellen. So he wants to bring the organization back to that. So those were all very important comments that he made, and I think it was a very strong multiple statements that he made. Oil, what we're seeing today, up $3.65 a barrel to 96.93. So we're pressuring that $100 a barrel. Again, Brent crude oil also up Dow down 361. What that's doing is putting upward pressure on the 10-year yield. We're at 4.337 right now, so up 4 basis points on that. There's a lot that can change very quickly with everything going on in the Middle East, and it seems to be coming to another inflection point. So we're going to watch that very closely. We've had a bunch of closings this week, have borrowers getting offers accepted. It is a very busy time. Now is the time to be active. Give us a call, 616-293-2189. Scott Riley, the Market Update Desk, your original singular source for West Michigan. Enjoy the sunshine, everybody.